Hi, I'm Corey Walmsley. I'm the CEO of Aurora Borealis Publishing, and I want to talk to you today about when your book is ready for editing. That can always be a big question, especially if you're one of those nitpicky kind of writers, a perfectionist, somebody who loves for everything to be just so, but is still not quite ready. You gotta stop. You just gotta stop doing that. Ask yourself if you've told the whole story. That is the biggest question you can do up front. Have I told the whole story? Anytime I get questions about word count, I get questions about book length, I get questions about, oh, is this long enough? Do I have enough chapters? You're trying to fit it into a specific size requirement. And there's a ballpark for that. There's an estimate, 20,000 to 30,000 words is typical book for nonfiction. But how do you know when you're done? How do you know when it's ready to send it to editing? It's when you've told the whole story. You write until you've told the whole story. Because if you haven't told the whole story, then it's not done. If you have told the whole story, then it might be done. And when you go through it and you feel like you've told the whole story, that's your chance to go back and start looking at it and say, are there pieces here that I need to expand upon? Am I clear? Have I told all of the information that my reader really wants to know? Have I told too much information? Is there stuff in here that they don't need to know? Those are some really good questions to ask yourself when you're going back and examining your book. So once you feel like you have told everything, everything's there, told the whole story, gone through it a couple times, you want to take a look at it again, just from that high level perspective and say, am I happy with this? And not, oh, I'm going to tweak it to death and punch a hole in my manuscript. It's, am I actually happy with this? Do I feel like I've told the whole story? Can I take a sigh and just pass it off to a professional? Because if you don't, it will sit on your computer forever. And that is not helping anybody. Your book trapped in your computer does no one any good, especially not you, especially not the people who need to read it. So decide, are you happy with it? Does it make sense in general? Does the order make sense? You feel good about it? If those are all yeses, then you've got a pretty good chance of saying, I'm ready to head this off to the editor. So there's one more thing you got to think about, because if you feel like you're ready, you feel like it's good, and you finally go, all right, I'm handing this off to the editor, you have to be able to accept critique. And I don't mean criticism, I mean critique. I mean someone giving you some constructive thoughts on what you can change, what you can improve to make it the best book that you can possibly put out. An editor is not going to red pen you to death. An editor should actually make some positive comments and tell you what you've done well too. They should say, I love your storytelling style. They should say things like, the way you describe this, I feel it. I feel like I'm right there. I feel like I've experienced this. They should give you some really positive feedback too, because you don't want to hand something over to somebody and have them just rip it apart, right? But you have to be prepared to make some changes. You have to be prepared and say, this is a person on my team and I'm comfortable with their feedback. This person wants me to succeed. This person is side by side with me and we are ready to roll. So, is your book ready for the editor? Are you ready for the editor? A couple things you got to think about when you're working on your book. Make sure you've told the whole story. Make sure you're happy with it, and make sure that you're ready to work with a professional. Contact me if you need a professional, because we have some fabulous editors. But make sure you're ready to work with a professional on your book because you want it to look and sound professional. Corey Walmsley, CoreyWalmsley.com, Aurora Borealis Publishing.